Docks Marine opens 7 days a week from 8 to 5. Sales, rental, service, all in one place. It's at Docks Marine, 5803 Eichard Ridge Road.
Good evening and welcome into the WHKY News for Thursday, November 7th. I'm Ralph Mangum. You can watch the WHKY News every weekday on over-the-air TV on channel 14.2, and you can also find us online at WHKY.com and on our YouTube channel. In today's top stories, WHKY's Rob Eastwood caught up with Caldwell County Manager Donald Duncan and got an update on that county's recovery from Tropical Storm Helene.
We're with Donald Duncan, who is the current Caldwell County Manager, and we wanted to get together and have you give us an update on how Caldwell County is doing in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, which you and I were talking before we went on the air, the largest natural disaster that this country has seen.
Correct. Yeah, we have over 6 states affected, multiple dozens of counties. And the bigger issue is the sheer volume of it, because this is a temperate forest that's been hit. It's not a coastal area. It's not a desert. So you've got a massive amount of trees down. Just in Caldwell County alone, we were doing the calculations. If you take just imagine a football field, and I mean a full football field with end zones. So that's 22 yards. You take that, and if you had it stacked 12 feet high, the brush, there would be 290 of those in the estimate just for Caldwell County. And we were on the edge. We were on the periphery of the hardest hit areas of the storm. So when you add that up, if you had 290 fields, that would be more than the volume of the bowl of Panther Stadium. So if you looked at all that, it would flow out the top.
How are your citizens doing that were affected?
So we have about 40 homes that are significantly damaged, beyond 50%. We have another 40 to 50 that had sustained some level of damage that, where this carpet was damaged, flooring, sheetrock, things like that. So we're in the middle of C&D debris as well, which we call construction and demolition. Mm-hmm. And we're also very encouraged by the response we've had to FEMA. Our citizens right now, 7,000 homes have reported in to FEMA for potential damage and repairs to their home. These are lighter damages like, tree falling on a house, things like that, small flooding damage. And we're doing free water testing for everyone. And we also are doing, the state just announced free decontamination of your well. We'd like to get your well back up and running as soon as we can. Contact our health department, come to our disaster recovery center, and we can get you free testing and free decontamination of your well.
Donald Duncan joining us. We are in the city-county meeting room here at the Caldwell County offices, the Alderney Starnes Administration Building. And with Donald, I'm Rob Eastwood, WHKY News.
We'll hear more from Donald Duncan next week. For a longer version of today's conversation, go to WHKY's YouTube channel. WHKY's Arianna Mack has information on a fatal accident involving a motorcyclist in Caldwell County.
A Caldwell County man was killed in a crash involving a motorcycle on Wednesday evening. The deceased is 49-year-old Stephen Daniel Swafford of Lenoir. On Wednesday at approximately 6 p.m., the North Carolina State Highway Patrol responded to US 321 North near Robbie Martin Road in Caldwell County. A 2017 Kawasaki motorcycle traveling south on US 321 failed to adequately reduce speed and collided with the southbound 2011 Nissan Pathfinder. The driver of the motorcycle, Stephen Daniel Swafford, was thrown from the motorcycle and passed away from his injuries at the scene. The driver of the Pathfinder was not injured. The initial investigation indicates excessive speed to be the contributing factor in the collision. During the on-scene investigation, the roadway was closed in the area for approximately 2 hours. No charges will be filed in this case. I'm Arianna Mack for WHKY.
Thank you, Arianna, and our condolences to Mr. Swafford's family and loved ones. 53-year-old Stephen Andaloro of Mooresville pleaded guilty today to securities fraud and wire fraud for orchestrating a multi-million-dollar investment fraud scheme and fraudulently obtaining more than $2.6 million in COVID-19 relief funds. The announcement was made by Dina J. King, U.S. Attorney for the Western District of North Carolina. Ms. King was joined by agents with the U.S. Secret Service, the FBI, and the Small Business Administration's Inspector General's Office. According to court documents, from 2018 to 2021, Andaloro convinced victims to invest money in businesses that were both real and fictitious by making false representations about where and how the money would be invested. Some of Andaloro's victims were told their money would be invested into his car service business. Other victims believe their money would be invested into a non-existent marijuana dispensary business. Contrary to representations made to victims, Andaloro did not invest the money as promised. Instead, he used the funds to pay for personal expenses and to make Ponzi-style payments to other investors. In addition to the investment scheme, Andaloro also engaged in COVID-19 fraud. Court records show that from April 2020 to March 2021, Andaloro obtained funds from the Paycheck Protection Program by submitting fraudulent applications for disaster relief loans intended for businesses that suffered economic hardship due to the pandemic. To obtain those funds, Andaloro submitted applications that contained false financial information about his businesses, including fake employment data and inflated revenues, cost, and payroll expenses. Andaloro received more than $2.6 million in disaster relief funds, which he used to fund his personal lifestyle and to make payments in furtherance of the investment fraud scheme. Andaloro was released on bond. The securities fraud and the wire fraud offenses each carry a maximum prison sentence of 20 years. A sentencing date has not been set. Assistant U.S. Attorneys Graham Billings and Catherine Armstrong are handling the prosecution. In the crime report today, I have some Iredell and HPD arrests. Arianna has a few from Caldwell County, and Rob has several Catawba County arrests. In local sports, Jason has CVCC men's basketball, plus an assortment from Lenoir and Appalachian State. In community focus, Rob has the latest on the Highway 105 bridge replacement project, and we'll hear all about the Western Piedmont Symphony. Partly sunny today with a high reaching the upper 70s. Even warmer tomorrow, as we should see a high in the low 80s with some morning fog and partly cloudy skies in the afternoon. Much cooler over the weekend with a high Saturday in the mid 60s and then only in the upper 50s on Sunday. We could see some rain Sunday as well. That's a 65% chance. Back in the 70s Monday with a 50-50 chance of rain. Look for highs in the 60s starting Tuesday and throughout the rest of the week. The latest weather forecast is always there for you at WHKY.com. I'm Ralph Mangum. You're watching the WHKY News.